Well, we can put a fork in it. I'm done. It's not perfect. It's to be viewed from the street, although I discovered a lot of people walk by there. But I don't know, I'm done. Uh, Monday, I'm gonna let this all sit over the weekend, and uh, and then Monday I'll go wash it off a little bit because it's gained some dirt and a few cobwebs, and there's some bugs walking around on it. And I will wash it off, and I will spray on the UV coating on Monday, and I may never see it again after that. So this was a fun project though, and I would actually really like to do more. This is the postmortem, as they used to say at work. What did not go well? Because that way we get to end with what did go well. So, as far as the actual painting went, I bought way too much paint. My estimates, I went over my estimates intentionally because it just didn't seem like it was possible. It didn't take more paint than that, but and honestly, I probably should have or could have recoated everything and stuff a little more. But the deal is, with the weather the way it is out there, the environment, the more I would spray something, the more likely things were going to turn out badly because of the wind. And plus, yeah, the paint dries super fast out there because, for one thing, it's thin paint. And even when it isn't, even when it's the other kind of paint, dries almost instantly. No time to fix anything. Well, I fix a little bit. If I'm prepared and I know I have a good chance of messing up, have my spray bottle and my rag and I can get it off there, but it has to be really fast. If the rag's on the other side of the box, there's a chance I won't be able to get it off by the time I get back. So anyway, that was kind of a challenge as far as that went. But yeah, the wind. Now I work outside here. I've done some work outside, and of course, but I go out when the weather is the best in the day. I can come right in. I can get a different hat. I can get a Jerry moves umbrella around for me. Out there, I had nothing like that, and of course, here if it's a little bit too windy, I can turn the thing I'm working on if it's turnable. I can't turn that thing, so it's just like, yeah. Um, I understand now why my brother said that it was so hard to see when he was a surveyor because it was too bright. If you could believe he didn't even wear sunglasses. I I wear sunglasses and a hat, and it's either too bright or too dark the whole time. I can't see. I just can't see what I'm doing, so you can tell. Um, and then the wind, the stencils, if they're the clear plastic kind, are flapping around. And this is when I'm doing the individual ones after I took the heavy paper down. And so then you end up getting overspray or not clear. That's really what happened with the butterflies, I think. Although I thought I did them while it was still hanging up there, but well, for one thing, uh, the difference of the dark blue at the bridge line and the dark blue that is around the butterflies, it doesn't show very well out there, and they are a different color, and I wanted it to show, but I guess you get the idea because when they go up into the lighter colors, you can see it. And but then, like the light yellow that I sprayed in the middle, for some reason on that, it just didn't turn out as nice. But oh well, it's nature. Even nature's not perfect. So, and okay, well, I also had, of course, issues because everything is down. Almost everything is down so low. I mean, the whole thing is taller than I am. Oh, nice arms. The whole thing is taller than I am. But a lot of the design is below the waist because that's where all the decoration is. I had to squish the design down because of the cutouts. Otherwise, you lose a whole. It just didn't seem to work when I tried to make it go clear to the top. So, besides, it would have still been clear to the bottom as well because all I did is squish it. I didn't actually move it up. So, um, or down, I mean. But anyway, so that's always a challenge. I'd had a surgery, so I started out with really bad back problem from that, back pain, and that was really hard the first week I worked on it, and oh golly, and but then this week I know, and I was saying, well, I don't think it's from that. I think it's just from sitting on the ground and bending over and doing this and that. But and that is part of it. But the last couple days I was not nearly as bad as I was before, so I'm sure it contributed. And so I had the two little plastic stools that my sister bought me, and I used one as a table or double step. I'll step on the low one and the high one to do a pie because I can't really safely step onto the taller one without, and it's sandy and uneven and all that jazz out there. So, uh, but even a lot of time I was sitting on the low stool, I'm leaning way forward, like almost painting at knee level. So, yeah, I took mom's wheelchair cushion out there and I sat on it quite a bit because that is really excellent for. I used it every mural I've ever done, sitting on the ground with mom's little cushion. And let's see. And so then the only other real challenge, oh, that's a lie. I didn't even talk about how I had so much trouble with my airbrushes. Now, some days they worked really good. Some days they worked great. But like about halfway through, one of them completely just barely would go. And I kept cleaning it. I don't know what, maybe I had it mismatched before, but I know it isn't now. And, you know, that one is fussy for some reason. And then the other one started acting up. And then, oh, also, at the beginning of this, all this stuff worked fine. A couple weeks before I started, a month before I started is probably when I used it. They all were fine. Everything worked great. It's all checked out, all cleaned up, ready to go. Yeah. Well, my compressor, I was using some paint I mixed myself, and it has to be really thin to go through the airbrush. And I was trying to push some stuff through it, and this was, I think, on my previous project at home, and I kept cranking it up, and I had it up pretty high, and it was working. And then I just thought, well, it didn't. I was having some trouble cranking it back down when I put it away, but I thought, oh, I'll do it later. No, it's it was stuck really high pressure. But since these are dual action airbrush, you can kind of control it. And I like it when it comes out a lot because I'm in a damn hurry. I want to go, 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 go. And anyway, so I found I couldn't adjust it at all, and it was on very strong pressure. Again, I'm still using paints, a lot of them that I mixed myself, um, which is sometimes out of, you know, the heavier body acrylic and maybe some of the airbrush paint, maybe some of the thinner and a little water. And I don't know, just trying to get what I want for without spending too much money, which obviously I did because I bought way too much paint. But I can use that later. However, that did add a task for me because I can't just walk away from that. I have to figure out how much paint is left over so I know how much I actually use. So I know how much it actually costs and how much to actually buy next time if I ever do another one. So yeah, I've got a little mental gymnastics to do with the computer. I'm not going to do it on paper because I want it to turn out right. I can do math. But oh, let's see. So then, yeah. Oh, yeah. This. So anyway, I was limping along with that, and then the last day that I was going to use the airbrush, which was yesterday, um, got oh yeah, the day before that the hand. No, it was like 2 or 3 days before that. The handle fell off, so now I have to pick it up by its belly, like they call him an air pig, so it's like a little pet pig. I was kind of joking about it to myself. Pick up the pig, put him over here, pick up the pig, instead of just having a handle. But it just jiggled off. Everything vibrates like crazy because that airbrush is the compressor is leaking. I discovered, I believe it was leaking through the gauge, leaking through the gauge, and I taped it up, but you can't really tape up stuff like that very well. And I continued to use it. And so then yesterday, and I'm trying to just, I just had like hardly anything left to airbrush, but there were some blank spots I wanted to fill in a couple poppies, and I wanted to go over. I think that was all yesterday. I think I did everything else the day before, and neither one of them would spray. Well, no one would spray anything, and I'm just like, God, the pump is running like crazy. But I'm like, I don't even know where the air was going. I couldn't identify it, but and the gauge said zero pressure. So I don't know if it's that seems like at least two broken parts on that thing. So I don't know. I was so frustrated, but I'm just like, okay, going to the brush. I was going to do that anyway. But there's a couple places like on the butterflies. I did want to go and put the templates back up and do the yellow in the middle again, but I really couldn't do it because and I couldn't I couldn't find couldn't I don't know. It's so bright and so windy. I just gave up. Anyway, so meanwhile, both my computers got full and my phone got full and everything got full and then my Google Photos got full. They won't let me. Everything is full at the same time, so that annoyed me, and I wanted to at least do some summary stuff here. I got all this pictures and all this junk. So now I have a paid storage on Google. Well, I'm a free trial. I have 1 month to get all that crap off of there, but I realized I got to get it all off of my phone too because I was thinking, oh, I'll just switch to my other account. I have another account. I'll just switch that and start doing my photos there. Number one, I don't know how to make my phone start sending them there instead of the other place, and I don't know. It's just so if I delete them off of Google, but I don't delete them off my phone, well, that'll work. But like I was just thinking, if I went to the other account, then it's going to back up my whole phone, and it's going to get. Oh, never mind. That's just old lady talk. Okay, so actually, a lot of things did go well. Actually, most of it, I think, went really well. Of course, I spent a ton of time at home with the computer and the planning and the stencils and the cutting and the. Oh God, those stencils were kind of a nightmare. But all in all, I feel like the Posh airbrushes worked very well for me. If I had had no compressor problems, maybe I wouldn't have had any problem. That compressor, I've had it for several years, and I remember reading when I bought it, people said, "Watch out, it's easy to break that pressure gauge." Well, I remembered it after I noticed it was leaking, but I do remember reading that. And of course, loading it in and out of the car to go out there. I wasn't all that careful, and I was hot, and I'm just like sticking the trunk. So that was really my fault. I don't think there's anything wrong with the airbrushes. I think if I either get new parts for the old compressor or a better compressor, I think it'll work. And now I have all that leftover paint. Now I have to spend money again, and I am just anyhow. So that was good. The brown paper stencil idea. Well, what it is, well, you've seen pictures of it. So I had that thick brown paper I found in the garage. It's probably like maybe 3 mils thick. I think. I don't know how thick it is. Pretty thick. And laid it out on the table, and I positioned stencils, and I don't know if I talked about this. I probably did. Taped them all down where I wanted them. I drew the grid before that, and I mean, it's not exactly like it was on the computer, but I had to have something I could work with and something that could, since this turned out to be essentially a symmetrical design, Needed something to retain the layout. I thought it worked great. When I did it on the Neptune Beach thing, the brown paper I had was thinner and it did have a tendency to tear. It did not do perfectly. It was all right. It was I learned a lot on that one. This heavy paper, I I was able to cut it where like where the handle you have to cut around the handle and or like when the front juts out and I had to cut it and differently on I had to cut it for three sides and I had to cut it differently for all three sides. Just because of the shape of this box. And anyway, so I was able to just tape it right back together. I mean, I could I could do it again. I could tape that thing back together and do it again. So that's interesting. Would I ever do it? I have enough paint to do it again. I thought it was out of green, and then I found a little bottle that I mixed. I found it yesterday when it was way too late. Um, yeah, so that was pretty slick. So of course, I complained about the wind. The wind we have wind every day here, but like I said, it's different. And oh my God, it was also really hot. It might be only 74 degrees, but the sun with no even one tree, nothing. Just I couldn't believe how hot I got. I couldn't believe it. And oh, well, that was funny. My thing fell over. Um, the wind blew it down. Uh, shoot. Anyway, see now I lost my train of thought again. That's how flaky I am. But yeah, even when it get up to like 82, you know, and the deal is it's most of the time always at least two sides of the box were in full sun. I did have one cloudy day, but otherwise it's been sunny. Two sides in sun, two sides in shade. But sometimes it's three sides in sun because it comes directly from this way. Well, anyway, I mean, it just, and then the thing is, it dazzles you over the top, but you're painting in shade. So it's coming over the top, and I'm painting something that's in shade. It was just really, anyway, I was going to try to say that the weather was nice. I went back on a rant about how the weather was not nice, but it actually was super nice weather. There was only one day where it rained, and it's just been fantastic weather out there, so I can't complain. Also, what's really great is the people stop by. I didn't expect anybody to stop by. Somebody stopped by almost every day to to say nice things to me. I think they were going by. They didn't drive. Well, actually, one guy did actually drive out there yesterday. This guy came out and said he was taking a tour of all the Venetia painted traffic control boxes, and he was telling me all about that, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. I saw that. I mean, people park out there and come up and talk to me. People have ridden their bike by and stop. Many people, have to stop at that corner and then they say, "Yay, nice, I like it." So it's been really nice. Even if I just wave at them, sometimes I can't hear what they're saying because this guy came by in a big truck yesterday, and I heard something. I wear the music, and I heard something. He's like, and I'm like, it was so noisy I couldn't hear what he said. I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, I guess he's. I'm like, yeah. I have no idea. I hope he. I don't know what he said. It was just so loud I couldn't believe it. And God, when the motorcycles would go by, and honest God, big semis because the turn into the Valero is just. It's where I turn around after I dump my junk off. I have to go down, make a U at the first driveway, which is Valero, and come back through the stoplight, turn around, and park. So these big gas trucks are always coming up behind me, and their brakes are so loud. I just jump out my skin. I tell you, that has been hilarious. Kind of funny, kind of funny, really. I laugh at myself a lot, so that makes it easy. So yeah, I like this for that reason too, and it's been a really fun project. I've enjoyed it. I'd like to do another one. Next time I will endeavor to make slightly less complicated design. Um, or maybe not. I mean, I really enjoy making stuff. I like airbrushing. It's super fun, but when it doesn't, it's just friggin' uh, aggravating. But I like painting with a brush too. But when it comes to painting on an actual straight up and down surface, for me, I have trouble with a I have a little trouble with a regular brush. I get through it. I mean, I like painting, but I haven't painted on an absolute straight up and down surface that much. I did on the Neptune Beach to practice. I don't know. It's so much easier if it's tilted just like that much. It's just hard to. I don't know. I'm not very flexible, but I really liked it, and it was fun. I would do one again. I would even do one where I went financially in the hole again. I went, uh, well, I didn't go financially in the hole. If you count what they're paying me and only put that against expenses, then I did okay. I decided not to take everything with me today. I'm like, I'm only going to take the black paint because I don't want to get sucked into fixing a bunch of stuff. And it's good enough, and I don't need to get super picky, 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 picky. So I got out there, and the first thing I did is I look and I'm like, what? What? Back in the car, back home, brought all the paint, and I fixed
Playing from tablet HDM16A2T.
it. It was actually good when the wind was blowing because as soon as the wind stopped blowing, the bees really like to hang out there. There's nothing else colorful for quite a ways. So the minute that the air dies down, I got little buddies. Even though I called this the postmortem, technically I'm not done yet. Monday I have to go give it a bath because it's dusty. I think I said that somewhere, but I have to go give it a bath. And then I spray on the UV coating. Nothing could possibly go wrong. And out of the number of sprayers I have, something will surely work. And if it doesn't, I mean, it's clear, so nothing really can go wrong, isn't that right? Okay, so I'm saying it's done. I got a little cleanup to do. That's all.